Recently, some events in my life have me great stressed out, and I needed to take some me time. So guess what I did yesterday? I ended up going fishing in the late evening after I got some running around done. Powered off. I didn't even go to the library to charge yesterday. It was one of those kind of days. But I'm really glad I did go out and go fishing because it's given me this story to tell you now. Even though I wish it kind of didn't happen, it did, and I still have, something to share. So let's jump into that. So now I have a few spots I'd like to go fishing. They're nowhere near my camp. They take at least an hour and a half to 2 hours to walk to. And I'm a big guy, so it's a bit of a trek, especially through the woods. But, it doesn't really matter. I got there like 6:30, 7 o'clock, and I did my fishing, and I had my fun, and I got up to leave just after dark, about 9:30, 10 o'clock. Now, if you're wondering, no, I didn't catch anything spectacular. I caught a few minnows, nothing really worth it. But it's still one of those times that I need it for myself. But that's not what I'm going to get into. So I packed my stuff up, and I decided to, head back. And it's a bit of a trek. Like, got to go through pathways, forests, and, I'm a big guy, so I get winded easily. And I'm still recovering from a small illness. A cold, or the C word, id. Now, again, as you know, I'm a big guy, and I'd been walking for about a half an hour on my way back to camp, and it's not an easy walk, so I saw a picnic table coming up front, and I sat down and, got off my feet. Sat there for like 5-10 minutes, and then all of a sudden I start hearing somebody calling me. Well, not calling me specifically, but saying, sir, can you please help me? Help. Like someone was saying, calling, asking for help, and it was, getting a little bit closer. I look back, and there's this woman just coming down the trail of the pathway where I was sitting to the side of. And yeah, she's asking me for help, and she's in a bit of a panic. You can see, visibly, she's shaking and scared. I know what fear on the eyes look like, and that's what it looks like. Not to mention exhaustion, because she'd probably been running for a bit. But yeah, she gets a little bit closer, and I say, what's going on? You know what, take a seat. And yeah, she sits down. And again, there's a lot of panic in that face, and so I ask her, what's going on? At this moment, I'm 50% either in my head she's bullshitting, or lying to me, or going to try to rob me, or even overreacting. I don't know. This is an odd one, and not to mention, like, she was been running the whole time too, so she's also huffing and puffing. And again, I in my head, there's like something off. There's something going on with her specifically. Like, maybe she's insane. I don't know at that point. It wasn't that long, and she decided to tell me what's going on. Like, she took a few minutes to catch her breath, and all she was able to get out was, I'm scared. I've been running for an hour, and someone has been following me. Someone has been chasing me for an hour. Now, I get that, single woman going down the pathways might see some big scary man coming the same way as you, and it could be terrifying. I don't know what's going on, so I was like, oh, no, well, if you want, you can stay here with me for a few minutes, and I'll walk you out. And she just does like this, and, there's a little bit more calm on her face. And again, at this time, I think she's, like, overreacting. Now, I feel horrible because I was wrong. I should know better to make, assumptions that everybody is BSing. I try to believe everybody regardless, but, being out here is making me a little bit jaded and always has my guard up. But I'll admit, I was wrong. We had sat there for like 10 minutes, and she kept looking back to the way she came. Like, she was really scared because, again, she's been saying someone has been chasing her for an hour. And she stumbled upon, this random big guy in the woods that she decides, I can trust this guy, and ask him for help, ask me for help. And I guess she's getting anxious because, maybe it's the tone of my voice that I'm not completely taking her seriously, because honestly, I wasn't. But I was proven wrong. So, this bicycle comes out of one of the pathways, because she had cut across through a small wooded area, like it's a walking path. And he comes down, the trail, because I don't think he really can get a bicycle through that trail. And her eyes kind of, get wide, and she looks at me really scared. So, it was the guy that had been following her. And the creepy thing is without hesitation, he drives his bicycle closer, puts it down, and walks over to the bench. It's not like, it's just her there and he's going for it. I was there. Like, I'm not a missable thing. I'm not missable at all. 6'3", big, pasty, and white. You can't miss me even in the dark. It was something in the way the man moved that made everything click. That, oh crap, she's right. This is real. There's something bad going on here. This is a bad guy. It's just the way he moved. It was the best way to describe it was if you've ever watched a cat hunt a mouse. It looked like that. He reminded me of a cat hunting a mouse or a predator hunting its prey. It was the way he moved was very stocky, like hard down, like he's gonna pounce. At that time when he's starting to he was getting really close. He was coming to the table. I'm on the other side of the table that she is. I decided I'm going to get up and, get over there and get a little bit closer to her. And I did that because he came right up to the table and then he's like staring at her. I was like, hey there, bro, how you doing tonight? You enjoying your night? I asked him that. And then he kind of like looks at me, but he was like hyper focused just on her. Like the stare he gave her was scary. Like it's like I wasn't there. I wasn't his focus. As he was like, that is like his prey. He's going after that. There's nothing else in the world that was scary. But that kind of snaps him out of it, and he looks at me and he looks back at her and he's like, oh yes, is this is your sister? This is your sister? Like he asked me, is that my sister? I was like, okay, but up here I'm thinking about what do I say? He's like, no, she's not my sister. That's my wife. We're just out for a walk. We do this every night. She's trying to, help me lose a little bit of weight because I kind of put some on in the last few years, and she doesn't like that. And the anger in his face, knowing that there is someone here that's going to stand in between him and his target, I've got no words to describe. There was just such rage. You could feel the rage and anger coming off of this man. I wish I could just describe the stare in his face, because it wasn't, there's a thing called a death stare. But it wasn't, there was anger there, but it wasn't a death stare. It was, the way he looked at me wasn't, I'm going to hurt you or I want to hurt you. There was anger in his eyes, but there was also emptiness. Like there was nothing there. He was empty. And it's, again, I'm really stuck on this point, the way he moved. He just, like, kind of swooped in, like, like an eagle or a bird would, like, swoop down. He was a scary, scary guy. And I got rid of the guy. Don't worry, nothing bad came out of it. Like, I guess, he really didn't want to start anything with someone as big as me. Like, he was just poking and prodding and assessing the situation to see if he could get away with what he's doing. I stuck my hand out and, shook his hand. I said, hey there, man. Thank you there, sir, for taking such good care of my wife tonight. And, yeah, he jumped on his bike. Like, he left after that, rode away, just kept looking back, staring daggers, and, yeah. So, as I said, we got up and left, and I walked her out like I said I would. We got to the street level, and, she said she's going to get herself home, and I told her to call the police, because you're the person he followed. The guy followed you, not me. I'm just the guy who was there who scared him off. But it's scary out there, and I really regret not instantly, believing her and jumping into action and doing something right away. I got to work on that. But even then, even if I have my suspicions, I will always try to jump in and do something. But that was one of those times, really, really scary. Really, really scary. People are insane.